Seiko recently debuted two Presage Classic Series models, the HCC002 and the HCC008 Tomioka Silk Promotion Organization Limited Edition. That is a mouthful. But do these two watches further solidify the brand as an industry leader in value-driven offerings? Let's get into it. Seiko is a watch brand that has such an expansive offering. There are countless models and references throughout its various key pillars, affording buyers more affordable watches that tick off a rainbow of dial colors and designs that sit all throughout the spectrum line between sporty and dressy. While lines such as Seiko 5 and Prospex garner a lot of attention in a world that often seeks out sportier watches, field watches, dive watches, chronographs, its Presage lineup is nothing to sleep on. Often we think of the Presage range as the dress watch segment of Seiko's collection, but the watches are ultimately more versatile than a dress or dressy watch label would suggest. These two new creations are a great example. Both cases carry a dimension set I believe most would describe as their Goldilocks sizing for watches that carry a casual elegance in their appearance, with a diameter of 38mm and a lug-to-lug span of 43.8mm across the wrist. The 38mm diameter ensures the watch has a modern presence with a larger dial, but the lug-to-lug span keeps things tame enough to wear more vintage adjacent on the wrist. The 12.9mm case thickness measurement may be contested by some. I mean, I've seen a lot of people in the comments go after case thickness, and rightfully so. It is an important, metric. But considering both cases have a 100-meter depth rating and the approachable pricing of these watches, despite having so many elements made in-house, I think it's rather unreasonable to hold it against this Presage Classic Series pair. In terms of their differences, not only are the case colors different, but so is their finish. The HCC002 has a mixed finish case, largely brushed with mirror finished accents, while the HCC008 has a rose gold toned steel case that is rendered in a more dressy full mirror polish. This makes sense considering the HCC002 is paired with a bracelet and has a steel hue, while the HCC008 has a precious metal look and is paired with a leather strap. The Seiko Presage Classic Series HCC002 is arguably more immediately eye-catching, with a light green tone dial that has dynamic shading as a result of the sunburst finish and wavy stamped guilloche texture pattern. As is often expected from Seiko, the light green hue is inspired by nature, said to evoke the color of young, fresh bamboo. Turning our attention to the Seiko Presage Classic Series Tomioka Silk Promotion Organization Limited Edition, the reference HCC008, the dial layout is exactly the same, a clean three-hander with a nice alpha handset for the central hours and minutes hands, and a stick central running seconds hand with an alpha-like counterweight shape. You also have baton-shaped applied hour indices to further elevate the dial and add value. However, I imagine some of you would have enjoyed the incorporation of Lumibrite on the HCC002, but I do think the dressier HCC008 does benefit from its omission as this, irrefutably dressy-looking watch. Of course, all of these dial elements are case matching for visual harmony. The limited edition tie-in and theme behind the HCC008 is not obvious. There's no co-branding, on the dial, and at first glance, the dial really just appears to be kind of just a simple white dial. However, the dial was crafted to capture the delicate texture and translucency of Gunma Hoso, a specialty silk that is known to be exceptionally shiny, supple, and strong. This was done by giving the pure white and wavy textured dial a pearl-painted finish that creates a certain rosy iridescence as the dial reflects the warm tones of the case and applied dial elements. According to Seiko, the dial honors the Tomioka Silk Promotion Organization, whose purpose is protecting and preserving the sericulture industry in the Tomioka region, where the Tomioka Silk Mill World Heritage Site is located. As I've already mentioned, the HCC002 is paired with a case-matching multi-link bracelet that has a Jubilee-like appearance many would enjoy for a versatile sporty meets dressy watch that can pretty much be worn anytime. It's mixed finished, beginning with brushed link pieces and alternating with mirror polished link pieces. The clasp is a butterfly style, which I often find keeps a watch better centered on the wrist, but it's worth noting there is no micro or fine adjustment system, in the clasp, which is traditionally understandable for a watch of this price point. The HCC008 is paired with a dark brown leather strap, the channel of which has padding to raise its surface. Normally, I'm not all that fond of padding as it makes the strap thicker, but considering the case thickness of 12.9 millimeters, it actually works well to continue the lines of the case. Securing the strap to the wrist is a case-matching twin-trigger to-point clasp to offer what many find to be a more premium feel. Inside and exhibited within both references is Seiko's in-house caliber 6R51, a tried-and-true Seiko movement that offers a very admirable weekend-proof 72 hours of power reserve. It leaves the factory with a pledged plus 25, minus 15 seconds per day accuracy range, but often performs well within its broad parameters. So look, Seiko plays a very important role in the watch wearing world. As more and more people discover the romance, allure, and experience of mechanical watchmaking, there is a need to have options out there with a long-standing trusted name held in high regard, but at a lower price point and barrier to entry. Seiko is a household name, and the fact that this household name is producing watches at this very entry for a mechanical watch price point is a very useful thing to getting more people to wearing mechanical watches. Of the two, I think the HCC002 intrigues me more purely because I don't have a light green dial like this in my current collection, but which of the two would you pick? Let me know down in the comments. The Seiko Presage Classic Series HCC002 and Presage Classic Series Tomioka Silk Promotion Organization Limited Edition HCC008, which is limited to 2,000 pieces, are both available now for purchase. The HCC002 is priced at $950 US dollars or 1,550 Australian dollars, and the HCC008 is priced at 1,150 US dollars or 1,850 Australian dollars. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe to the Time+Tide channel for all the latest watch news, reviews, and content. And as always, see you in the next one.